it's interesting to me that you, who maybe Tea Party conservative isn't the right way to put it, but that's kind of the target that Donald Trump's been going for since campaigning and how he's acted in office, and you've been pretty critical of him. So what's the departure here? Where did he lose you?
Patrick, it's good to be with you, and that's a great question because I'm asked this all the time. Look, my answer is this. I am a Tea Party conservative. I was when I got elected back in 2010. I haven't changed a bit. I still believe in the wall. I believe I'd get rid of the IRS. I would repeal Obamacare. I should be able to carry a gun wherever I want to carry a gun. I haven't changed on the issues. I've changed on Trump because fundamentally, I just don't think you can believe a word out of his mouth. And as somebody who believes in a very limited but a very accountable, honest government, if I've got my president lying to me every day, I can't stand for that. So I fundamentally don't like him as a human being.
There's been some conservative pushback, of course, on the sense that Donald Trump may sign either a CR or even a more long-term spending bill without additional border wall funding. And I'm one of the kind of quote unquote never Trumpers that says the wall isn't the worst idea in the world. He's not going to get $5 billion for the wall after January 3rd. His advisors, leave Stephen Miller, want him to sign a CR so that you're not shutting the government down at Christmas. What, and Coulter and Coulter came out on Twitter and said she won't vote for him in 2020 if he doesn't get any border wall funding. What should he do? Should he veto and shut down the government?
If I were advising him and he doesn't listen to me, I would say, hell yes. This is why he got elected, period. The wall. Probably the biggest campaign promise a president has ever made. And I'm telling you what, this is his last chance to get it. You're right. Once the Democrats are in charge in January, there won't be a dime for the wall. I believe that if he doesn't get it, and I don't think he will, I think he's going to sign a short-term CR without any money for his wall, and that's going to be it. The wall will never be built, and he'll hope that he can lie to enough of his supporters in the next 2 years to get them to believe that it was everybody's fault but his. But I'm with Ann Coulter on this. This will be a final blow to him. He's not expanding his base. So if he loses a chunk of his base because of the wall, and I believe he will, I think he's done.
You were elected to Congress in 2010, and that was kind of what goes down as the Tea Party wave. Yeah. And I've had my vocal frustrations with some of those folks that came through, whether it the Allen Wests and the types like that were in Congress for a while. Some are still there, some aren't. But instead of legislating and governing, the old phrase, you campaign in poetry and govern in prose. Yeah. Instead of governing, it became purity tests and hatred and vitriol. And I was really put off by the tone of the party and leadership in that time. And you saw, that was when Boehner called it trying to keep 219 frogs in a wheelbarrow. Why did we take such a nasty turn?
And admittedly, I was part of that. I mean, I went to Washington to not to compromise, not to go after any Republican and every single Democrat who was growing these debts and the deficits. So I was certainly part of that unyielding, non-compromising wing. The difference with somebody like me is I tried never to be mean-spirited about it. We hear a lot of that now. The tone of our politics is horrible now. And I hate to bring everything back to Trump because Trump didn't create this. Look, we were divided and the Republican Party was broken. The Democrat Party's broken. Our politics was broken. I think that's why Trump got elected. he didn't create this. He's made it much worse because he doesn't give a damn about anybody but himself. But I go back to the Republican Party. The Republican Party doesn't have any balls now. They don't have any principles now. They are all about Trump. And whether you're a Tea Party conservative like me or a good conservative like you, that's frustrating because it's like the issues no longer matter now.
We talk a lot about discourse,
Yeah.
on this show and on the website, and how, you can disagree with someone without being a jerk about it. And I think you and I have shown here in 20 minutes chatting that just because we don't agree on every part of our conservatism doesn't mean we hate each other. And I say the same about my Democrat friends. I guess do you look back and think that maybe you pushed the rhetoric a little too far, and how could it have been better? How can it be better?
Yes. To answer your first question, yes. And if I've changed in any regard, it's this. If you follow me on Twitter, man, I have most of my followers are probably on the left, and we disagree vehemently on issues like the wall. But we're respectful to each other. And I've really taken a turn in the last few years to be that way. I want to focus on the issues, and I want to have debates like you and I have had on the issues. Things have gotten so ugly and personal in our politics. From day one, I always tried to be all about the issues. And sometimes I went over the top on the issues, but it was always policy based. What's ugly now is how personal it's gotten. Trump's to blame for this, but people on the left are to blame as well. I think somehow we've got to get people back focused on the issues, having debates like this one.